Hello, everybody, and welcome today to the first episode of my F1 2020 Road to Glory career mode. As you can see by the photo in the background, we are with Williams Racing, and I'm looking forward to this one here. We are quite a long way off the back of everyone. Um, if you're wondering, this is a non-updated version of F1 2020, so this is a launch version, Saka being the Rocket Williams car. But yeah, we're going to be trying to do as much as we can to get this team back on track, scoring points hopefully, and yeah, just having a bit of a laugh, having a bit of fun. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. But I wanted to play in the Rocket Williams car. I absolutely loved this livery. I know it wasn't too popular with most people, but I honestly thought it was pretty nice looking. So that is why we're going to be going with this one. As you can see, we are right at the very bottom of the pack here, and we've got some catching up to do. But, you know, let's step on it. Let's see what we can do. Here is the car reveal for this beautiful red and white Williams. Let's go. Well, here she is then, in all of her glory. I absolutely love this Williams. A lot of people say it's like a Colgate livery, you know, like Colgate toothpaste. I personally think, though, it does look really nice here. We're going to be able to put 4 upgrades on then before we've even started the season. They're not going to come in just yet. I mean, well, it's the aero side where we're lacking. Engine, we're somewhat decent, and then the chassis side, yeah, again, we're lacking a bit on that side as well here. So our engine's definitely the strongest point, so we need to work on chassis and on the aero side there. We've got an upgrade in. Unfortunately, one of the chassis upgrades, though, has failed, but I'm sure we will get some points back to be able to re-upgrade this car. But let's, though, get into Australia, the first round of the season. This really is going to be a road to glory because I can tell this car is going to be an absolute diva. But, yeah, we're going to treat this car right, we're going to treat this team right, and we are going to get this car ready to go, ready to score some points as well, hopefully, in the next couple seasons. Obviously, in real life, this was a fully pointless year for Williams, and there he is then, George Russell, my favourite, the other side of the garage here. Yes, we are on a team with George Russell. We've replaced Nicholas Latifi for this one. So, yeah, it's going to be George Russell
Great,
and
you're done with the
myself.
technician's briefing. Look, I know we've got a lot to get through in FP1, but Will Buxton's been pushing for a quick interview before you head out on track. Don't worry too much, he's a good lad. He's just over there. These media appearances are important for a few reasons. They'll help build your profile and your brand. Plus, your team will get a real boost to their motivation if they hear you praising them. Will, as promised, sorry to keep you waiting.
Ah, mate, not a problem at all, not a problem.
Look, we've got to be out on track in about 5 minutes for FP1, so we can only spare you a couple of minutes max. Is that going to be enough time?
More than enough, we're already set up. Cool, let's go. Set. We're used to seeing rookies in Formula One every year, but this season there's a youngster that's arrived with perhaps a little more interest in them than usual. And that's because while they've been successful at every level of their career from karts all the way through to Formula 2, they've somehow managed to stay pretty much under the radar. They don't have that luxury anymore though. They're in Formula 1. Millions of people around the world watching their every move, both on and off the racetrack. So let's take some time to get to know them a little bit better. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's the thing you're... After your successful junior career, what would you say is going to be the biggest challenge? What do you think of your prospects for the season? Are you aiming for just points, or do you... Really appreciate your time, but I know you're very keen to get on. Best of luck out there.
Okay then, so we've done our pre-season interview then with Will Buxton, and yeah, we have done a little bit of talking
This
about
first
our
race of the
chassis.
season is always quite difficult for us trackside, and for those back at the factory as well, as it's the first time the car has run since winter testing. The more consistent mileage you can get in these sessions, the happier we'll be.
Yeah, as I was saying, we talked about the chassis here. We're not going to do practice. We're going to skip straight ahead to qualifying
And with
because
all the
I can't
cars
be
now
bothered
over the
to do the
line,
practice
let's
sessions. Usually we just simulate these. But yeah, I've done a bit of testing in this car already around this circuit, so we shouldn't need to do practice. Although that was in heavy rain conditions. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting season. I'm not expecting for too much this year. Maybe just try and pick up at least a point, I reckon, will be the goal here. We're just so far off the back of everyone. Only 16 races this season as well. We're not doing a full season. I've done a custom season to skip out some of the circuits that I'm not too fond of. Well, some of the circuits I like but don't enjoy driving necessarily. Um, so I believe well, I can tell you what it is actually. We'll go into the season here, and it's not going to tell me. Would you look at that? That's a beautiful job, that is. So yeah, as I say, we'll just try and aim. We'll see what we can do this season here. Yet again, not expecting too much from this season, but yeah, if we can just keep getting some good upgrades on the car, then hopefully we can catch up. I'm hoping to be competitive by the end of this season, going into next season. I'm hoping we're a bit more competitive, even if that means we're just on the back of the Alfa Romeo cars. But guys, it's time for our first lap in anger at the Australian Grand Prix qualifying. I'm going to mute and I'll speak to you guys afterwards. We'll see where we end up. As we run up to line though, it looks like we're going to start dead last, so that's really unfortunate. We made a big mistake, got out on the rumble strips there, and the car got a swapper on with us. But yeah, we will line up then P20 on the grid for the Australian
With qualifying
Grand Prix
finished,
here.
it's time to remind ourselves
Lewis
of
Hamilton
our top
though,
three.
PA,
Bottas, Leclerc,
right down
and
the order
Sebastian
then.
Vettel.
1.1
Goodbye for
seconds
now
off
then,
Valtteri
but we're
Bottas.
really just getting
And
started.
even
Make
out
sure to
qualified
join
by
us again
both
for
Renaults
Lights Out
and the
tomorrow.
McLaren of Carlos Sainz then, was very close to being out qualified by Lando Norris, the other McLaren guy. Oh, sorry, yeah. Hamilton not 8th, Hamilton 9th then. So, very interesting. And yeah, well, I mean, me and Russell over a second behind the AlphaTauri cars, who are our next biggest rival there. I mean, that is just gut-wrenching when you see results like that. Our acclaim goes up a bit though, but yeah, as I say, our goal for this season will probably just to try. Our goal will probably just to be maybe just try and score a point, I reckon, through the whole season. You never know, it might happen, it might not, but as I say, well, the car is so far off the back of everyone. We need the upgrades. We need the upgrades to come thick and fast for us
It's
now.
not quite where we'd want to be on the
But
grid.
it's going to be time though for the Australian Grand Prix. Yeah, I think we've just got to do the best in the machinery we've got. I might even put a little bit more downforce on, because the engine's okay, so we can kind of balance that out with the downforce here. I'm just not looking forward to
Not the
circuits
best
maybe like
place to be at the start of a
Spain,
new season,
you know.
so let's make sure we show the team what we can do.
Yeah, let's definitely make sure we show the team what we can do there. Just a notch more downforce on the front and on the back here, just to try and give us a little bit more balance. But it is time though for the Australian Grand Prix when the 5 red lights go out. We'll be racing and it is go down under here at Australia. A very wheel spinny start for myself there, but Russell already trying to pull alongside of Pierre Gasly there as we go into the first corner now. It's all going to get a little bit congested, but ourselves are right at the back here. I was just thinking, if we qualified last, we should have just took a whole new engine. I know we don't need one this early on in the season, but it would have saved us from taking grid penalties later on here now as we dive right up the inside of about 3 cars there. We're going to get Giovinazzi, Russell and Gasly there in the AlphaTauri. So we're up to P17 then. So a fairly reasonably good start for us there. One of the Ferraris is right down the order, I've only just realised. So I don't know, maybe that was grid penalties then already. But yeah, down the inside then of 3 cars going into turn 3. Yeah, let's capitalise on this first lap here. It's been an actual quite a decent first lap there. Up 3 places. It's just going to be, I reckon the races are just going to be a bit like this, you know, just try and pick up a few places off the start. Yeah, the goal will be probably don't finish last. I reckon when we get to more power circuits we'll be okay. You know, as I say, the engine's not too bad at all. We've just got to be careful we don't burn through our battery because we are going to need that probably later on in the race. But yeah, now as we're all over the back of Lance Stroll then, we will try and get past Lance Stroll here. We are through on Lance Stroll in the racing point car there as Antonio Giovinazzi looks to be having to go in there. But it's Valtteri Bottas then, your leader, as we begin lap 2 here. We are going to be P16 then on the road. But Daniel Kvyat here, he's going to fall to the inside, trying to defend from us now. We're just going to have to stop there for a moment. Oh, Kvyat, wow, stomping on the brakes there. Do we have damage from that? Luckily we don't there. We seem to clip his rear wing, his rear tyre, sorry, with our front wing. If that had been F1 2021, the whole front wing would have been gone off the car there, because we know how sensitive the damage is in that game. But yeah, a decent start for us here. We picked up a fair few places, and we're just going to see what we can do here for the rest of this Grand Prix. There's a right old battle up in front of us there. I don't know who that is. It looks like a Ferrari and another Alfa Romeo there, so that'll be Kimi Raikkonen battling away with one of the other Ferraris there. That will be for points, that will, I believe. Because if we're 16th, that's 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th, 11th. Oh no, that will be the battle for 11th place then. So, yeah. As I say, this is, well, Giovinazzi, it's an incredible run on us there. Yeah, the goal this season then will just be to try and not finish last, and just to try and pick up a few places here. So I'm going to maybe go for the move here on Daniel Kvyat, but he is defending this line though, and Bottas is streaking away out in front here. As we're now going to begin lap 3, hopefully now we can get Daniel Kvyat here. We've got a great run on him, and we are going to try and overtake him here, but as soon as we pull out of the slipstream there, we cannot get any more power though, but we're going to go right around the outside of the first corner. That was a lovely little overtake there, and we are up into P15 then in this Grand Prix, arguably. Well, we could have qualified there, but Daniel Kvyat comes back at us. I did not expect that. Wow, we were so lucky we weren't turning into the corner there, otherwise that could have been a big accident. But Daniel Kvyat though, really late on the brakes there, just sends one flying up the inside of us. And we're back down to P16 though. I did not expect that. That scared me. That was a jump scare of a lifetime there. Kvyat came out of nowhere. And I mean, well, fair enough to him. He's got the move done. But yeah, that's one thing, an upgrade from F1 2019 to this game is that AI are very, very punchy. We will still be continuing the F1 2019 Road to Glory series as well. But I thought I'd have this one running alongside it. But we're going to have DRS now on Daniel Kvyat here. Can we get the whole way around the outside there? And oh, there's a little bit of contact there. There's a little bit more contact. But we are going to get through. Daniel Kvyat though, seeming to take a double hit on our side pod. But yeah, we're going to get through on Daniel Kvyat though. And up into P15. But now we'll just to see where we can go from here then. Lap 4 now beginning of the Australian Grand Prix. And yeah, as I say, not finishing last doesn't look like it's going to be too difficult at the moment here, because as I say, we are currently up into 15th place. We've got Romain Grosjean 1.8 seconds up the road. I'm just going to make sure we don't have any more kamikaze moves from Daniel Kvyat there. I mean, that was kind of sketchy though on that last lap what he did there. That could have been a very nasty accident if I'd have turned in. That could have been a wheel off his car, maybe even a wheel off mine there. Big damage to both cars if I had have turned in, but luckily we didn't here. Unlike F1 2019, we yet to see a retirement yet. Obviously, if you remember, we had 2 cars out of the race at this point in the Grand Prix, being Alex Albon and Valtteri Bottas, both crashing out. Sorry, not crashing out, both with engine failures there. But we take a big slide through turns 10, I believe that is. There was a massive moment of understeer here, oversteer, sorry. But yeah, we've just got to keep our head down here. That's the curbs that messed us up in qualifying there. We almost messed up in the Grand Prix as well. But yeah, just got to be careful now. Giovinazzi and Kvyat swapping places here. So we're kind of running a bit of a lonely race at the minute. We're 1.8 seconds behind Romain Grosjean. We're 2.7 seconds behind the 2 cars behind us that are constantly swapping places here. We're going to make a pit stop though on lap 6 of this Grand Prix for a set of medium tyres. And yeah, we're just going to see what we can do from there. We're going to try and push on as much as we can in this Williams car. As I say, the goal is to not finish last and just pick up a few places if and when we can here. Points may come later on in the season, but for now, we've just got to focus on getting this car in the right place here. Just got to focus on, doing what we can for the team here. As we don't seem to be dropping them any time from the back of Romain Grosjean, which is positive, because that Haas car is quite a fair bit in front of us on the R&D chart. So if we're not dropping time from him too much, or just a 10th or so a lap, that is quite positive there. Yeah, again, another big slide. Doesn't have to clip quite a bit. As I've realised, there's no bollard on turn 10, so whether or not I've clipped that or if somebody else has clipped it, but I'm sure there usually is a bollard there though. So there has been some kind of contact maybe through there, a driver colliding with that. But yeah, I'm debating whether or not to pull it in pit lane this lap. I think we're actually going to do that here, and yeah, we're just going to see what happens then. We're going to slow the car down here. I always over-slow down there. If you didn't see our F1 2019 Road to Glory series, I got a silly penalty in Azerbaijan in season 1 for not slowing down. It was under the VSC though, to be fair. But still, I'm a bit over cautious now. 2.4 second pit stop will take that. That's a nice pit stop there, and it will put us back into the race in last position. But yeah, again, cars are yet to pit. So we're just going to do what we can now for the rest of the Grand Prix. Push on these set of mediums here. We're just going to have to push on as hard as we can, I think. But yeah, all round a pretty positive start to the season, I'd say. We've got some places. We know that we can. Maybe if we come into close contact, we know we could maybe overtake Romain Grosjean in the Haas, which is also very good. But we know at the minute we're capable of overtaking the Alfa Romeos and the Alfa Tauris, which is good though because they're the cars in front of us, but we're in the wall. We are out of the Australian Grand Prix. Oh my word. Just as we come out the pit lane, just as we were talking a positive start to the season, we have crashed in our first race here in Australia. And a dismal weekend then, really. We just got on the curb. It's a big accident, to be fair. And oh my word, what's worse than finishing last? It's a DNF here. We're going to watch it slow down a little bit now. We're just going to get on the outside curb. We're going to hit a curb, bounce across it. And then from there was no saving it there. We could have saved it probably, but our rear wheel just clipped that barrier there, which turned us frontwards into the wall though. And that is our Australian Grand Prix over on just lap 6 of the Grand Prix. We have crashed. And a nasty accident there as well. We're just going to watch it one more time from the off-board shot there. Yeah, just oversteering on the curb, clips the barrier, and we are out. That is our race over here down under. We're going to retire then from the session. Our first race could not have gone worse. I mean, wow. We qualified last in qualifying. We DNF from the Grand Prix. And a dismal weekend, to say the least, down under in Australia. Our acclaim's probably going to go down a bit. Valtteri Bottas, though, will take P1 in Australia.
Everybody
wow.
played their part.
We are out
Congratulations.
of the
And now
Australian
let's take
Grand
a look at the
Prix.
driver's standings.
Goodness
Valtteri
me.
Bottas takes
Lewis
the top
Hamilton makes a
spot.
good recovery
He's
though
our
to
new
come home
drivers'
P3.
championship
Sebastian
leader
Vettel
after
finishes
today's results. Now,
P2 there,
let's
then the
discuss,
two Red
Ant,
Bulls.
who would you say
4th
is a
and 5th,
contender
Leclerc
for
rounds off the
driver
top
of the
6.
day?
Well, my
after coming
driver of
through
the day
from
has to be
12th
Charles
on the
Leclerc.
grid.
He was unstoppable out on the track
Then
today.
Esteban
weaving through the
Ocon, Lando
competition
Norris,
with ease.
Daniel Ricciardo
It's
scoring
time to
points in
check
his
out
home
the
race,
constructors'
and
standings.
Carlos
Mercedes
Sainz
moved to the
finishing
top of the
10th
table.
there.
And with
But for our
that, we wrap
teammate
up
George
another
Russell,
weekend of motorsport.
it's going to be
But with more
19th
races
place
lined
and
up,
last
be sure
there.
to join us.
The two Williams cars, we locked out the back row in qualifying. We don't finish the race. Somehow our acclaim goes up. I should think that'll probably be through some overtaking maneuvers we did. But guys, for a first episode, that could not have gone any worse. That was a pretty dismal run at the Australian Grand Prix, but we have retired then. Only 6 laps into the season, we are out of the Grand Prix. But guys, that has been it then for the first episode of my Williams Road to Glory career mode on F1 2020. Guys, if you have liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will be carrying on with some further episodes in the future. But guys, until then, take care. Thanks for watching. Cheers.